this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. I am going to do a fun, kind of loose orange flower design on this glass vase. This is a great vase for whether it's candles or flowers, maybe even to make a centerpiece. You can do a lot of things with this type of a vase. I use my vases and wash them off to repaint on for the purpose of my videos. And I apologize, my furnace is just starting up, but we are going to go ahead and get started. Tonight I'm going to be using two flat brushes. Actually, they're both number 12s. And I am going to be using this liner brush. It's a number 1 liner. All these are plaid one-stroke brushes. Paints I will be using are Vivid Orange, Autumn Leaves, Pure Orange, put it on there, Wicker White, Thicket, Warm Light, and I'm not using that, so number. Okay, so all of these are folk art paints. There's a mixture of multi-surface and enamel paints. Both are good on glass. Alright, so I know a lot of you would like to see how I load my brush, and I'm trying to include this as much as I can. Problem being is the way I have it set up right now, in order to get my piece showing the paint on and get that in, it's kind of hard to get all of it in. Hopefully I can make some adjustments after the first of the year. Anyways, I am really just loading all these different paints. I'm not doing any special kind of one-stroke loading of the brush type thing. I am just dipping them in and going to get started on making the actual strokes. And then just keep dotting them into all the different oranges, the different, the white, the autumn white. Now, when I did have yellow ochre, I forgot to mention that. I do have that in here as well. Just thought about that. Anyhow, the purpose of this flower, or the gist of how to paint it, is just really free. Making kind of sweeping, however you say it, brush strokes with the flat brush. No fancy twisting involved. It's just a matter of pulling and then just kind of layering as you go. And just keep pulling towards the center, because it's really not going to be a full flower. It's just going to be a partial. But I just keep layering it and putting colors into it. And just adding more as I stroke it. So it's kind of a free, I want to say free for all, but it's definitely not a, I don't know, perfectly planned flower. It's just you start painting and stroking towards the center of the flower, kind of closing that up. And you can use the side of the brush too. You don't have to do all flat brush strokes. You can turn it so it's not necessarily on the chisel edge as you're doing it. Get some of these out here. Again, I'm just kind of dipping and pulling. Now I'm just going to keep working it until I get it to the way I like it. Bring it up into here, bring it up. And I'll be tapping a center in here in just a little bit. And you can see it's just really a fun layered flower. That's why it's easy for somebody to do, because there's really not a lot of, it doesn't have to be a certain way. So it's kind of however you can get it to form. Alright, so we're going to go on to the next one, and it's going to be basically the same thing, but this is going to actually be a back view. I thought I got some warm white on here. Again, I am just dipping and pulling. There does not have to be any precision here. Just more of a loose flower, if you will. And even like your strokes, they don't have to be all the same size, same height. They can vary, which is fine. Again, you can turn your brush, you can make it you know, all like that, or you can turn some of them, intermix it. They can come in and out, down and over. It does not have to be all the same length when it comes to the height of the actual petals. Again, just a very loose painting. And you're just kind of going around the flower. Even come out a little bit if you want, and then just leave it like that. Alright, so I'm going to leave it like that, and then I'm going to turn this just a smidge and do another one that is going to be maybe a little bit smaller, just kind of over here, and it's going to be open also, but not, I won't say open, but it's going to kind of be like this one in a sense, where the center gets tapped in towards the bottom. It's not a fully open flower. Again, you can pull in, but you are definitely stroking in towards the center when you're doing this. Again, I just keep adding paint to my brush. And just continue to go around. Different colors, adding white, the warm white. And when you do it like this, it's definitely going to be opaque because you're layering a lot of paint. And keep in mind too, when you're doing this, again, the petals do not have to be aligned, you know, all the way around the same length or distance. It's just very free. Very, very free. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, just, you know, give me a shout down below. That would be awesome. Let me know. And I will try to help you out. You can pull more towards the center if you want. I guess then you can just stand back and say, hey, where do I need to add more color? Where do I need to maybe lessen the color? Add in some more white, put in some more dark, and then just go from there. I don't think on this one I put any of the yellow ochre in it. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in. Like I said, I just like the freedom of just making it very quick and simple. And you go from there with it. Now, as far as the centers go, I am going to tap in my center And I'm just going to use my #1 brush here, the liner brush, and then just tap in some of the, see, this one's going to have to be a lot bigger, but tap in some of the Thicket. And these are going to be different shapes actually, they're not going to be the same shape, which is fine. Give it some interest, right? And then on this one I'm just tapping in some green around it. And I can do just like a little shape down around it, like this. And for this one, I'm going to just tap in, and you could fill the center in more if you wish to do so. I chose to do it this way and then just tap the center in like this. Just a very easy center. And this one's not going to have a center because this is the back of it. So basically I'm going to pull the stem down it, and then we'll go ahead and fill in the actual leaves here in a second. Now with pulling the stem down, I'm going to pull it down below this. And there we go. And then you can do the same over here. If you want to do the liner brush to do your stems, you can do that. And I'm going to do that on this one. And what I'm doing is just adding in some of the Thicket, just to make it, kind of fill it and make it more transparent, or not transparent, but more opaque. Because as you know, that's my favorite thing to do. And of course, in reality, the stems would be a lot longer than what I'm making on this, but for the purpose of the size of the vase, this is what I got. This is what I have to offer. I'm just making it a little thicker. Then we'll put in some of the Thicket again. And you can use your flat brush to do these, as I mentioned. It doesn't have to be the liner brush. Okay, so then what I'm going to do on this one, the top one, I'm going to come back in and do some stroke work. Kind of pull it a little bit this way, and then this way. Basically, I want it to meet, make it kind of feel like it's coming from part of the flowers popping up in front of it. There you go. I don't really want to hit it that much, but I did. And like I said, you can keep stroking if you want. Get some different colors in here. Not mix it up too much, but we have that going on. I think that looks pretty. This one I might do a little bit of the same. Just kind of add some more layering here, just a tad bit. I don't want to really get into the painted area too much because it is wet still. And if you want to give yours some drying time and fuss with the layering more, you can. Like I said, I don't want to fuss with it too much because I don't want to get that green into my paint. But you get the gist. You can play with it as much as you want. Again, with what I'm doing, I'm not doing any particular way of loading my brush. Now with this greenery, I might do that, because I'm basically loading I don't have the, you're supposed to have the paint 3/4 of the way into the bristles. Unfortunately, with the way I paint, I probably don't do that enough, but that's what you're supposed to do. Alright, on this type of a flower, you can have your big tall grasses that kind of come up, or leaves, if you want to call them leaves. They can be leaves, and then just bring them up. I don't really want to go into my stem too much here, but we could. And then, like I said, have it come up around your flowers a little bit. And we can do it like it's coming this direction. Again, just pull it like it's coming up through here. And then bring it out this way if you want. Or it could end there. And if you want to make it look like it's coming up through it, that's fine. If you want to leave it like that, it's very simple. You can do so. I mean, it's not a fancy type of an arrangement. It's just a very plain, I guess, as far as lack of leaves. You can bring them down. There's just a lot of twisty ways you can do it. I'm going to actually switch this a little bit like that. And if you want to fill it up more, you can bring it up and maybe even add just some little leaves to it, just to kind of fill it in some. Doesn't call for this, but I thought it might be nice just to kind of fill it in a little bit so it's not quite so plain. But if you like it plain, then leave it plain. You don't have to follow me when it comes to the leaves, because if you follow me, I like leaves. The more the merrier. Like that. And then, like I said, we can just keep it simple. Don't have to really add much more. Alright, so if you like this video, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Oh, I forgot something here. My goodness. It's going to start ending here, and now it dawned on me I didn't finish this little guy here. So you can do little leaves, and they're not coming out so great, but do little leaves around this to fill this in and complete the back of it. Again, it's wet on wet, so if you don't want to do it like that, then just let it be until it dries. Hit it with a hair dryer, whatever you need to do. But now I'm ready. Okay, so if you like this, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe, hit that button, and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post something new. And then once the video is over, please make sure that you hit that share button underneath the video. That way you can share it on your social network with all your family and friends. I would appreciate it. I'm trying to grow my channel. If you have any questions, suggestions, any ideas of what you'd like to see me paint, put those down below in the comments. And until the next time, you have a good one.